Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Passive Buddies podcast. Today's episode is all about thinking like an entrepreneur. And why is it so different to the rest of, I'm going to say, humanity? Brandon, talk to me. What do you think, pal? Why is it different to be an entrepreneur? And why is it more importantly, so important to think like an entrepreneur rather than just the average Joe?
Wow, that's a great question. I think that's, well, I mean, yeah, I think that's a great question because typically people that are entrepreneurs, I mean, for us, people say like entrepreneurship is the loneliest job in the world because a lot of us are kind of have a different mindset of things. We're typically seeing how we can progress our lives and the people around us versus a lot of people are still just, how do I get through the day? How do I get through to the weekend? And most of the time we're like, when we're not working, we're like bored or we're not driving forward. I think that a lot of us get very, I wouldn't say a lot of us, I can't speak for everyone, but for myself, if I'm not progressing forward, I feel like I'm kind of down on myself, or I'm not happy in a sense, because if I don't see the progression in my business, or if I'm staying stagnant, where I'm working the same kind of job every single day, and I don't see any kind of progress, then I get really hard on myself. I don't know if that's how you feel, because like I said, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, I kind of think of how can I keep progressing myself and other people around me.
Yeah, I think it's so different, isn't it? And as you say, like entrepreneurship is like the loneliest job in the world, or the loneliest business in the world, because everybody else they're going to the 9 to 5, they're happy with their 2 weeks holiday a year, like they're happy, like literally just living or working till they're 70 and then retiring. And that's obviously, if that's what they want to do, then absolutely fine by them. But it's a different conversation, isn't it? Like obviously the conversations we have, like me and you, would be completely different to the conversations I would go and have with my neighbor, who's literally worked all his life and now retired. Like those different things it's just a different mindset. As you say, like each day I'm like, right, okay, how can I move the business forward? How can I get like the extra cash coming in? How can I do this? It's all about, like, as you say, progression and not standing still. Because if you stand still in this world, effectively you go backwards because everybody else is moving forward. So you can't afford to stand still. That drive for progression that Brandon was talking about, it has to be there. Like you have to be motivated. Like if you're working on your social content, if you're working on your offers, if you're working on how to nurture people, or like how to improve yourself, whether it's your own mindset, your fitness, like your skills, like all these things are so personally driven, that you have to be looking to improve these each day. Otherwise, you're not going to survive in this world, or this entrepreneurial world, if you're not driven to succeed. If you're just like let everything slide, let everything flow, it's fine, it doesn't really matter, that's not really going to help you achieve your goals, whether they are like monetary goals, freedom goals, time goals. Like all of those things need dedication, they need determination. And by focusing, like we spoke about in the last episode, like scheduling and really driving down on what you need to do, these are the different types of things you need to be thinking about in order and change. Because obviously we're not built like this, are we? We've just been through a system for 20 years that's told us to get to work or school by 9 a.m, leave at 3 p.m, have an hour's lunch, and then come back tomorrow and we'll tell you what to do again. So we're not driven to think for ourselves effectively. Sure, we get to pick our career, but even then, that's governed by where they want to push you. If the school's got like funding from a science background, they're going to all push you into science. So even that's not controlled, or you even haven't got control in that. So thinking for yourself is a huge part of entrepreneurship, and basically breaking the mold. Brandon?
Yeah, it's funny because when I have my friends who always, I mean, I don't have many friends, but the ones that I do have that work like a 9 to 5, they're always like, oh, I can't wait for the weekend, and they hate their jobs. And I always am like, well, change it. Like you're you're able to change your living situation. You're able to change your life situation, your trajectory. And a lot of people don't. They're okay with just standing still. They're okay with letting life happen to them. And for me, I want to be in control of my life and the things that I do and the influences that I have in people. And so if I'm able to, I always ask people like, oh, what do you like investing in? It's like, well, I have my 401k. And like, well, I mean, is what happens in a downturn when the markets drop, 50% like they have been, and you're trying to retire at this point, and then your income is not as much as it once was. You have to continuously work. So you're not really in control of your kind of life at that point, especially people that have a 9 to 5. If you're able to create your own life and create your own kind of destination, then you're able to really get the most out of life. I find that if we're able to kind of build our own income streams, be able to invest what we want instead of a 401k or 401k where our employer is choosing where we put our money in a sense, because they have a fund that goes to whatever kind of investments that they choose based on whatever the best 401k plan that the employer decided to choose at that point. Really, entrepreneurs make the world go round in a sense, because we're the ones that are innovating. We're the ones that are creating in a sense. We're the ones that are just consistently putting things out there and putting risk on the line so that we can make the world a better place.
Most definitely. And as you say, like that whole 401k, which by the sounds of it is the same as a UK pension, is like, that shouldn't be your hopes and dreams. That shouldn't be the one thing like that you wait for. Like, you should be able to, if you want to go on this really nice vacation to Hawaii or Bora Bora and anything like that, or if you want to switch off for a month, like we spoke about in a previous episode, didn't we, about the mini retirements that you should be looking to take throughout your life, not just wait till the end. Like, these are things that are needed, obviously, in order for you to keep going in this entrepreneurial game, is those experiences that Brandon was talking about in a previous episode. So with those experiences, need income goals to match, and with those income goals, then you need the drive, determination, like, and that motivation to go out and get those income goals, which then obviously gives you absolutely everything you want. You want to be in control of your own destiny, and I think a lot of people aren't. And what's scary is a lot of people are okay with that. Like, being in control of your own destiny, being able to make the choices you want. Like, as I said before on the last episode, I'm finishing obviously these podcasts. I'm going to pick up the kids, and that's it. The 6 weeks holiday start. If I was in a 9 to 5, that wouldn't be happening. I'd be sat wearing a stuffy shirt and tie, like in a horrible office. Not being able to go in, obviously enjoy like the last couple of days, obviously, before they break up or anything like that. Having that flexibility, like, you need that as a human. You need that flexibility, like, because things come up. Like, if you've got a family emergency, if you've got kids, like, if you just want to go and do something, like, you need that flexibility, that fluidity to be able to go and do that. And that's not going to happen from a 9 to 5. So if you're feeling restricted, if you're feeling like underwhelmed, burnt out, all of these things are coming from that stem of the 9 to 5. So, and that's all negative vibes, isn't it? Negative mentality and negative environment. So to think like an entrepreneur, you're going to need to, for me, change your environment. Your environment's the hardest thing to absolutely change. Now, obviously, in today's world, in the online world, we're so lucky. We can create an environment with people all the way across the world. Like, obviously, look at me and Brandon. Like, we've obviously been friends for years, and obviously we're in an environment where obviously we're both into creating passive income, and obviously you get to do this podcast together, and all those different things. So you don't have to look around you, like, especially like if you're in a little village or a little town, or and you're looking around you and everybody's literally the same 9 to 5 with the Matrix goggles on, just doing what they're told. Which is fine if they're happy, but it's not for me. And you need to get out and create that environment, that positive environment. Then online is definitely the way to go, because you get that opportunity to do that, and you'll find events and stuff like that you can create that environment. So for me, thinking like an entrepreneur, the first thing you need is a positive environment. Brandon, what do you think's next?
I think surrounding yourself with good people is like your environment. So I think the next thing would be your own mindset. I think having a positive mindset and being able to kind of not have those negative thoughts that, oh, woe is me. It's funny because I created a post, yesterday, or no, it was probably like a year ago, and I rebumped it yesterday. And it said, I hate poor people. And it wasn't, it was more to get a reaction out of people, because that's what we do as content creators. But it wasn't in a sense of poor people, like people that don't have money. It was the people that are like, poor as me, like my life sucks. I can't get a good job, or my job sucks, or my relationships suck. It's those kind of like, woe is me kind of people. And if you don't fix your mindset, because you're going to get beat up in entrepreneur, like it isn't this awesome journey where every single day it gets better and better. Like you do have these pitfalls and these like just down days where you aren't able to kind of progress. You think like, oh man, my business is going to go under if I don't do this, or if I'm not making this much money, or if I hire this new person. So having that mindset and that resiliency to continuously push forward and get through the troubled times is very important. And having that mindset in as an entrepreneur, and I think that goes hand in hand with having a good environment, because if you're in a bad environment that is negative, that's going to feed into your mindset, and that mindset is going to ruin you. So I think that number one, having that great environment that uplifts people. I was just talking to a guy the other day, and he was like, Brandon, like I'm super depressed. Like he almost said like, I think he almost said like he just hates living, and he can't, get his just life together. And I was like, well, you need to change your environment. Like he lives in New York. And I was like, you know what, like, why don't you move? Like New York, everyone is, I don't know about everyone, but for the most part that I see on TV, everyone's busy. They're always on their phones. And it reminds me of California when I lived there. Everyone was on their phone, that no one says good morning to you. They're in their own little world. Cost of living is expensive. Taxes are expensive, and you're just working 2 times as hard to get half as much. And so I was like, you know what, you need to like move. Like, why don't you move to a different state, or move to a different part of New York that is not New York, or New Jersey, or one of these higher places. And being able to change that environment, and just having a talk with him, I think he is feeling a lot better, and being able to have that person around him that he can bounces and talks to and get motivation from, and that helps with his mindset. So I think both of those things kind of go hand in hand, of having a good mindset. But if you're not in a good environment, man, that really will screw you up.
I think there was a couple of things there that I quite liked. There was obviously, like, for instance, like mindset is not a destination, it's a journey. Like you will have bad days, even when you are even if you're a mindset coach, you will still have bad days. You will just have better equipped tools to deal with those bad days. And that's all it's about. Yeah. So that like mindset, positive mindset is a journey. It's not a destination. It's always an ongoing thing. Because as Brandon said, you are constantly attacked, not physically, thank God. But you are attacked by knockbacks, negative people, like things not going your way, the algorithm not working in the way you want it to. Like you are constantly getting kicked. And as I always say, and I always quote, it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. So by using that quote from Rocky, yes, that's part of entrepreneurship, like being able to take the hits and keep moving forward. That is what is going to get you to the destinations and enjoy the journey and the experiences that you actually want. So there was that, obviously the mindset thing, and the environment, and obviously being able to take the hits. And then the final thing that Brandon sort of like sprinkled in there, like effectively, I now don't know the relationship with this guy and obviously yourself, Brandon, but that was effectively a mentor's role. Like you were being his mentor. like whether he invested in you for that, or whether it was just a general chat. Like he's seen you as a person who's basically got what he wants, and he went to you for advice, literally what a mentor does, and obviously you willingly give it him. So having mentors and people around you, like Brandon's always got the 2 steps ahead, 1 step, someone with you, and then someone behind you. And I'll let him say it's sexy the way he normally does. But having those mentors and those people around you is absolutely crucial to being able to navigate those little nuances that you don't get, like you can't wrap your head around. Like for instance, like I was chatting to my mentor last night, and it was quite funny. She was after like a statement of some sort, not like a police statement. Don't worry, I'm not in trouble. But she was after me to get like a marketing statement, and I must have sent her this marketing statement about like 6 times, and she was like, "Nope, nope, nope." She was like, "No, getting there, getting close. Try this, tweak that." I was like, "Oh my god," and I just couldn't get it right. But if it wasn't for having that mentor there, like obviously, thankfully, she was messaging me, and navigating that process. Like I don't know how long I would have been stuck there for. Like even with all this great mindset, constant action, like it would have took me a lot longer to get to where I needed in terms of that like specific piece of work. So obviously Brandon was effectively a mindset coach on that conversation he had the other day, maybe yesterday, and as you say, he's being able to positively impact somebody else's life because other people are around, like being able to support him. So hats off, pal.
Thanks. It's funny because we were talking about JVs the other day in a different podcast, but I get messages like all this time. Like I just got a message today that said a woman is doing a NFT project for cosmetic surgery. And she said, "I'll make you co-owner. You've helped me so much." And it's funny because she went on to, I said, "I don't know if I really helped you, but thanks." And she goes, I randomly met you online and you sent me on the journey I'm on now. And I was losing faith in the NFT gig and I didn't trust the online passive income schemes. I thought this was all just Nigerian princes from Nigeria, but you showed me not all of them are. When I saw your video, I went, this guy is for real. He isn't no Nigerian. So yes, you did something. You showed me the way. You even said that in the NFT group. You said, "Nice try, Nigerian prince," and that's how I saw you. And so she added me. So and then that's, she's in our inner circle now. And so yeah, it's online business and entrepreneurship. You get to a certain point where you are looking up to people and growing your business and kind of understanding the troubles and tribulations that you go through. I think the one of the best traits you can have as a entrepreneur is being adaptable, being able, like you said, when you get knocked down, being picked back up again. When the algorithm changes, being able to shift and change versus being like, "Well, I can't do anything now." And then you get into a role of mentorship and helping other people grow and wanting other people to succeed. And the more that other people succeed, the more you win. And it becomes a way to progress humanity.
Absolutely perfect. So obviously I'd say so you've got your positive environment that you need to create, and sometimes that means cutting people out of your life, stop with associating with the negative situations. Sometimes it might be stop drinking, because obviously that has an adverse effect. So obviously stop consuming alcohol and stuff like that. So that positive environment's number one. Working on your mindset on a consistent basis, and remember, it's obviously a journey, not a destination. It's number two. Bringing in mentors and people around you that obviously equates to your positive environment, but specifically seeking out the people that you aspire to be enjoy having that company, and who you feel can actually change your life is definitely something else that is required as an entrepreneur. At all levels, people have coaches and mentors. So don't feel like you're too big or you're too small. It literally happens at every single level, guys. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this moment in time for thinking like an entrepreneur?
I think that covers the top 3 kind of concepts when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Just being resilient and adaptable, I think, is kind of part of that mindset thing. Because if you don't have that mindset that you can't be adaptable, or you can't, or you don't have resiliency, then you're, I mean, I think it goes hand in hand with that. And then obviously, I think the biggest thing just as an entrepreneur is just that environment. We're very environment driven human beings. And if we're in a good environment, we can do really, really well. If we're in a bad environment, I think this is just with humans in general, then we are going to do very, very bad. So having that, that's how we grow as humans in general, is through our environment, through our parents or whoever raised us. We learn through their actions and our environment. It creates our reality. And then obviously that mindset through experiences, and then having that mentor to help us grow as individuals.
Awesome. Okay, I think that was perfectly wrapped up. I don't need to chuck anything in there. You've absolutely smashed it. And so, guys, thank you so much. Obviously, if you've enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out some of the links below for some of the communities that we've got going on. And we will see you on the next episode.
Peace.